Be yourself.
Yeah.
They're gonna love you.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy who loves flag smashing, and this video we're giving our thoughts on some of the most hotly debated talking points in regards to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you're like me and don't have a life, which you probably don't because you're watching this video, then chances are you've come across a big argument on Twitter involving John Walker and also Io of the Dora Milaje. Full spoilers ahead from this point out, so if you haven't had a chance to check out the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then I highly recommend that you check out now. If you agree with our points, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and if you don't, then the dislike is there for you too. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the breakdown. Okay, so the first talking point came from whether John Walker was right in killing the Flag Smasher. For some context, the scene culminated in John killing the antagonist in front of the public after his best bud Battlestar had been brutally murdered by having his back broken. In the comics, it was actually Walker's parents that were killed, and this sent him off the deep end, leading to him becoming a terrifying vigilante that acted without jurisdiction or a moral code. Whilst we don't know his eventual arc just yet, it seems like they're setting up the show for something similar, and we will likely watch him on a downward spiral, requiring Sam to take him down. Now, John Flickinger basically started the debate by having the bloody gall of that man, to tweet the following: "Knockoff Captain America has now become my favourite character in hashtag Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A man willing to do what it takes. America thanks you for your service." Though I don't know him on a personal level, I've watched his channel for a number of years, which is why I got the accent spot on, and I don't think he's someone who thinks it's cool to go around murdering people. I just don't get that impression of him. Though he's been called a psycho, John even cleared up that the tweet was sarcastic, but because it's the internet where everyone reads text in a different way, there were a lot of different opinions that came forward because of it. At the moment, the Discord seems to be split into two sides, with one condemning Walker whilst the others praise him for taking down a terrorist. Now personally, I am against what Walker did, and I'll explain why. In my opinion, though the Flag Smasher has clearly been carrying out terrorist acts, Captain America isn't someone who should be killing people who've already surrendered. In the scene, we watch as the man begs for his life, and it would be nothing for Walker to take him alive at this point. Though he's a super soldier, Walker is too, and he's already shown because of the military training that he's received with the formula, he easily outmatches all the other Flag Smashers. The shield is supposed to be a symbol of truth, justice, and the American way, and to see it covered in blood like this shows just how much the legacy has been tarnished. A shield is an item that's supposed to be used for defense, but here it's almost a battering ram being used in an offensive manner to end someone's life. What Walker represented to me in that scene was police brutality, and though he should have stayed his hand, he instead went over the top to kill someone. This was a personal vendetta because of the death of his friend, and rather than doing his duty, he made it his mission to get revenge rather than justice. Mark Bernardin has stated that Steve Rogers is what America thinks it is, whereas John Walker is what it truly is. It's a saying that's often been attributed to Superman and Batman, but in the case of the two Caps, it actually feels far more fitting. Now, being a Brit, I don't want to wade in slagging a whole country that I love off, but I'm sure most people watching this will be willing to admit that the Western world has a complicated legacy, much like the Shield itself. Britain's just as bad, and whether we want to admit it or not, there's been a lot of things in our past that we aren't really proud of, and Walker 2 represents that to me. Though he's operating as the symbol of idealism and freedom, it's clear that he's far more complicated than that, and he's way more flawed than Steve Rogers ever was. Now to me, this is actually a more accurate representation of what someone put in this position would be like, and you can see how someone who's been told that they can basically do what they want would do exactly that. So no, personally, I don't think that Walker was in the right, and if he truly was Captain America, then he would have taken this man in. When I've discussed this, the first thing brought up normally is that his friend had just died. However, Steve believed that his friend Bucky was dead for several years too, and he never acted out of character or lost his cool because of it. Therefore, in regards to this, I still think that Walker is the villain rather than a hero who was simply carrying out something for the greater good. Now that takes us to Io and the Dora Milaje. The first point of contention that has caused a lot of heated debates is that they stated they have jurisdiction wherever they choose to have it. Whether this is official or not, we don't know, but there's also no way to know what's happened with Wakanda since they joined the UN. Because they're a technologically advanced society, it is possible that their police force is able to operate wherever they want to, but I also highly doubt it. To me, it was just a badass line to assert dominance, and though it contradicts the Sokovia Accords, I didn't really ding the show for her coming out with it. Mirroring this line, Walker has too said he operates without jurisdiction outside of the US, which no one has been up in arms about at all. It could be that since the world destabilized due to the snap and the blip, that the authorities have extra powers when it comes to how and where they operate, or it could just be a cool line because, yeah, this stuff is all made up. Anyway, Stephen Ford discussed another moment featuring the character, and this too has caused a heated debate with every Marvel maniac. The original tweet reads, "Okay, but the Wakandans putting a built-in weakness in Bucky's arm is like really messed up. It shows they never fully trusted him. He spent years trying to finally reclaim his autonomy, only to be undermined in an instant by those who helped. It's just sad." Now personally, I didn't even really pick up on this whilst watching it, and again, just thought it was a cool moment, but I've seen so much back and forth over it regarding race and so on that it definitely feels like there's a lot of subtext to be taken from it. Now I'm someone who grew up reading stories like JLA The Tower of Babel, in which it's revealed that Batman has several contingencies for the Justice League. So the idea that you always have a backup plan, even when it's your friend, is nothing new to me. I can totally see why the Wakandans did this, and if you think about Bucky's life, he's spent the last 80 years being a brainwashed murderer. Add to that, he's one of the last surviving super soldiers who's fluent in several languages and an expert in hand-to-hand combat and weapons, and yeah, you can see why they might put some countermeasures in place. The scene itself also comes in the wake of Io telling Bucky that he had a time limit to hand Zemo over. Bucky very much betrayed them by freeing the person that killed their king, and they gave him the chance to do the job that they needed to before taking him in. Instead, Bucky stood in their way and tried to stop them, and thus I think Io did what she had to in disarming him. And I swear that's not a pun. Now Christine Kippens recently got asked about this, and she gave an answer about how both Bucky's arm and the shield come from Wakanda, but we never really classed the latter as that. Let's play the clip so you can hear. Press play quickly.
Bucky doesn't think of that arm as a piece of Wakandan technology that was given to him so that he could be helpful in an upcoming fight for global survival. And Walker doesn't think of that shield as coming from Wakanda either. Bucky thinks of that arm as his arm, as part of him. And Walker thinks of that shield as his weapon that he has done the work for and has earned to carry. And when the Dora took them both away for just a moment, they each had terrible fear in their eyes. And Bucky even had the nerve to look betrayed. The Dora Milaje are here to remind y'all of your white privilege and the fact that what makes America strong was stolen from Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
Okay, so lots to take from that, and I think as far as the Wakandans go, they did what they could to help and rehabilitate Bucky. However, they also kept in the back of their minds that, because of his powers and abilities, that he might cause issues for them one day. Though Bucky believes he was betrayed because of this, it's understandable that they built this failsafe in. In this moment when Bucky fails to keep his word, the Dora Milaje disarm him and show that they have their means of fighting dirty too. Had Bucky not betrayed them, then we would never have known about this failsafe, and he could have carried on living his best life with his mechanical arm. You know, I could use a mechanical arm a lot, especially in lockdown. Although I know a lot of people probably disagree with this, I can personally see why the action was taken, and from their point of view, I think that they were in the right. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts, so make sure you comment below and let me know. Remember, yeah, this is all fictional. John Walker and Wakanda don't exist, so keep it civil instead of turning things into a civil war. Now as a thank you for interacting civilly with the video, you'll be entered into a prize during the 30th of April, in which we're giving away 3 copies of Zack Snyder's Justice League in 4K. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the video. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the episode 5 cameo, which will be linked on screen right now. We've gone over the entire thing from top to bottom, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. Out of the way, thank you for sticking through the video. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.